So economy is always key that drives societies and governments towards specific policies. It is also generally the reason that it starts to cause friction between native and immigrant communities of any country. Finnish economy currently is suffering from serious challenges. There is a rising unemployment and falling GDP. Unemployment rate at 10.2%, as second highest in Europe, and GDP growth rate in negative 0.1%. The increase in defense expenditure and regional security threats have its effect too. What are Kokomas Party and your governments plan to solve this unemployment problems?
That's a very good question. It's really one of the most crucial questions, because it's not so much the public debt and overspending. Of course, this is an issue as well. But the real problem in the Finnish society is that we have never recovered from the financial crisis in 2008, 2009. This is all our respective states within the European Union, within the West. They have recovered, but we have seen zero growth for 17 years now, 17 consecutive years, almost zero growth. And if we had even the slightest of economic growth, we would not have this kind of problem with the spending too much than we are earning. And all the parties in the government are actually at blame here, including my party. We've been in the government so many times, as has the Social Democrats, the Greens, the Lefts, everybody, all the parliamentary parties. And we failed to do the necessary reforms, the structural reforms in the Finnish society. Sanna Marin's government, the previous one, I can criticize them for a lot of reasons, also for soundly good based reasons. But what they did was they created this kind of social, what you call it in English, this reform of the social and the healthcare.
The
SOTE reform, social and health reform. And this was the first major structural reform that was able to be conducted in Finland since the whole period of after the financial crisis. So what my party is now doing, or Petteri Orpo's government, with my party as a prime minister party, we are actually making it easier for employers to sack employees. We are creating flexibility within the working life, because when you can actually fire a person more easily, you can also employ more easily. Because as a small business, like if you I used to have my own business before I came to politics, after I quit the military, and I only employed myself. So for me, the threshold of hiring somebody, paying for somebody to hire this person to work for me, it's a very big threshold, because in the end, if it's a wrong recruitment, I might have to go into bankruptcy because I always have to pay the salary for this person. So I need to be able to get rid of the person more quickly. And this sounds very harsh, but actually it's beneficial for the people who are working, the employees, because they are getting more easily employed. We need to have this more flexibility within our working life, the whole working life. We need to have more. The social security, the social benefits need to be geared more towards encouraging people to go to work. Everybody needs to work more. Now we have this thresholds that are actually that if you take a job, you will lose so much in social benefits that it's actually plus minus zero, the net income, that you're not getting paid more. You're not getting more money in your hand if you go to work than if you stay at home. Significantly more, I mean. So these are, and they also apply to the immigrant communities. So we are preventing people from being economically active. That's a very big thing, and this is something that we need to structurally reform. Then the youth unemployment is also a very big problem. Right now, my party is giving out this that if an employer is employing young people, then they will get this kind of bill that the government is paying for some of the expenditure. Some of the salaries is covered by the government, so that you can easily employ, so that people would have their foot in the doorway in the working life. And then one thing that we need to start considering is that we might need to lift up the pension age, which is now 65, so you might need to be able to work until 68. maybe even up to 70, because we have a lot of elderly people, and this is the demographic pyramid. It's not a pyramid like it should be. We have a lot of older people and not so many younger people who are actually in the working age. So this is why we need the immigration. This is why we need to make it more efficient for people who actually want to come here to study and work, to get the work visa, to get the study visa. And then after you graduate from a Finnish university, you will now get a working visa. But the same needs to apply to the what you call this sort of like University of Applied Sciences, what you call them. You would also, when you become a graduate from this University of Applied Sciences, you will need to automatically get a working visa, because it's crazy that we are training these people and then we kick them out if you don't find a job straight away.
Yeah.
It's lunacy. So these kind of things we are doing, but it takes a lot of time, because the general negative the atmosphere is very negative towards spending. People in Finland have a lot of money in their bank accounts, but they're afraid to spend because they don't know how the future will be. If you would have more trust in the future, then people would start spending, buying, houses and spending their money. Now they are just saving, and this causes the economy to stagnate.
Let's talk about the Finland-Pakistan Parliamentary Friendship Group.
Yeah.
What is it about, what it has done so far, and what are the plans further to improve collaboration and cooperation between these two countries?
What it has done, and what was the reason that I founded it? We didn't have a Pakistani friendship group, most likely because no MP had any personal connections with Pakistan before. So whenever the ambassador comes from Stockholm, comes here, unfortunately Pakistan doesn't have an embassy in Finland, but the ambassador is residing in Stockholm. So whenever he comes here, there was no official sort of platform for us to meet. And it's very difficult for me to get the proper news, what's happening in Pakistan. I used to say that whenever I wanted to hear about the politics in Pakistan, it was the most convenient way was to travel to Dubai and take a taxi cab. And most likely the driver was from Pakistan, India or Bangladesh. So I could ask them, how is things, what's happening with Imran Khan, for example, and the Tehreek-e-Insaf party. So they were giving me the good updates. But whenever the ambassador was coming here, we always met in some location. But I was not really able to invite him over to the parliament because there was no platform for us to meet. Now we have the friendship group, so we have the platform. So it's easy for us to say, okay, you come here. We have a very good honorary consul in who used to be the honorary consul in Islamabad, Mr. Asad Ansari. It's like a friend of mine now already. Now he's the honorary consul of Peshawar, because we cannot have an honorary consul once we have the embassy in the same city. But when he comes, then we don't have to sort of make things up. We can invite him as the friendship group to discuss with us. And then we can have an official way of interacting with the Finnish ambassador in Islamabad, who's also a very, very nice person. So I will be able to get the good information. And then we can use it as a means to, to try to diversify the image that we have of Pakistan. Well, I mean, not we, but the general population in Finland. This kind of very one-sided, very negative in a way, because the negativity sells. So we can show that there is so much more to Pakistan than what you read on the seldom when you have any headlines. It's not. I never experienced any terrorism or any earthquakes when I was there 15 months. So these are the reasons, and then we can interact also with the Pakistani friendship group in the Finnish friendship group in Pakistan. And that's also something that is. We can maybe try and form some level of economic cooperation with the Finnish companies and the Pakistani companies, because I see a lot more potential that is being utilized now. Also getting more people from Pakistan. And this is not a brain drain, because I was talking to the Pakistanis and they say, it's beneficial for both countries. They send some of the bright students to study in Finland. Some of them will stay here, some of them will go back. So both countries are actually winning. So we have a lot of possibilities, and then also in the future, I'm looking very much forward to interacting more with the Pakistani community here in Finland.
Absolutely.
As the role of yes, I'm an MP, but also for so many other things, and encouraging Pakistani communities, the individuals, becoming more active politically in Finland, in Finnish society. This is also would be very beneficial for us.
Definitely, and the Pakistani community, PinFin. I mean, we've been PinFin. We started this around 2001.
Yeah.
So we have a long history. I mean, we started as students, and we've created this network of people helping each other integrate and grow and help in education, and it's socially connected, because it's important to have people that you can relate to and talk to when you're very new. It's very important. And so PinFin has been helping Pakistanis since 2001 when we started, and then over the last 15 years or so now, we've been regularly every year arranging these kind of community events, which are like cultural and awareness events, educational events, and they have really helped. And now we arrange one of the biggest Pakistani community events. It's like the nucleus of the Pakistani community is what PinFin is now. I mean, there are of course other people doing a lot of in individual capacity, but we are the oldest community, and we will really love to support you in your work.
Yeah,
we believe that, for instance, now we have around I think you have the data, Sabah, how many Pakistani professionals we have, and so she can come to that in a minute.
Yeah.
But we will be very happy to support you and connect you with Pakistani networks and the professionals. We have a huge number of professionals in very many different kind of areas, and that we'll be happy to collaborate.
And I'm very happy to attend. It's like I said, it's when I was there in Islamabad and in the area, Kashmir, that was the time when Imran Khan had this party in KPK, and this was coming up, this PTI, and I was drawn to him because I said he how he is. He has this kind of charisma.
Yeah.
And he has this he could live the life of a very rich person in Dubai or somewhere else, but he chose to make something for his country, and he chose to fight the corruption. And I think these are all very good, admirable things. But then so I've been watching him. But I think I would have to say that the problem with Imran Khan, as I see it, is that he was a fast bowler. And in politics, you need to be a spinner. You cannot just go directly to the wicket, because at this time, it will not be... Things are not so straightforward. So you have to do a little bit... Sometimes you have to go things a little bit slowly. And maybe he was too straightforward, and maybe he couldn't take the right people with him and this. But it's still very interesting to see how things go.
Yeah, it's unfortunate the way things are right now, but hopefully the country is moving in a positive direction now. It's building up in a good way now.
Yeah,
politics is never easy, and Imran Khan, of course, he's perceived by a vast majority of Pakistanis as a savior, or as a like a fair person. But politics is politics.
Politics is politics.
You never know, like what kind of people are, what they're thinking of, they're doing. That's hard.
And I never want to give any advice to other countries, because all the political, cultures are very different. So you cannot take something from one country and import it into another country and think that it will work. No, but regarding Pakistan, and from my time, I mean, I went to so many different army units in different parts of Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan, and really, really clever types, the army officers. I mean, really, I was asking the young people in the schools in Kashmir, what do you want to be when you grow up? All the boys said, Inshallah, sir, I would like to be a military officer. If not, then maybe doctor or lawyer or or engineer. And I said, wow, that's so good, because I'm a military officer. But the military is very highly regarded in Pakistan.
Yes.
And the military is what is remarkable is that every time there's been a military coup in Pakistan, which normally is not a good thing, but it has never been this kind of young officers movement that you had in Egypt or some part of the no, it was always the military, the armed forces as a whole, stepping in and then giving power over to the civilian authorities, and all the as soon as they could. And they basically, what they said to me, the officers, that they do not want to take this civil power, because now the military is regarded highly, because they can do fighting in against Afghanistan or against India. But whenever you get into power, you will be asked this question. People will come and say, I don't have any electricity. What are you going to do about it? I don't have any running water. What are you going to do about it? I said, I don't know. We're military. We're not supposed to deal with these kind of issues. So they will try to push the power over. So I would have to say that if a person wants to become politically successful in Pakistan, they must not, make the military angry.
Yeah,
you have to work with the military, even though you might think that this is not always the best way. And for us in the Finnish society, this would be unheard of, that you would have military involvement in politics. We had it in the 1930s, and it was not a very good thing. So we are avoiding it. But in Pakistan, this is something that, military is the strong house. So you have to take it into consideration.
True.
But I'm not giving any advice on anybody on domestic issues. No. It's not for me.
Yeah.
No.
It's a complex issue.
It's very complex. That's how it is. It's never easy.
So Pakistan is growing strongly as an ICT hub with about 20,000 registered software companies working in various domains. There are amazing opportunities in renewable energy, edtech, circular economy, textile, leather goods, ICT. Focusing on opportunities, what areas between Finland and Pakistan do you believe are most promising, ones people miss or don't talk about enough?
Well, I think I saw the manufacturing scene in Sialkot, for example, where they manufacture leather goods and whatever you have. And I was astonished at both the quality and the way that people were able to produce this. For example, the footballs, the actual balls that they use in the World Cup, all come from Sialkot. So this is something that the Finnish companies could outsource the production from even to a bigger extent from other parts of the world into Pakistan. Then the other one, like you said, is the ICT. We are blessed in a way that we have a very cold environment for a part of the year. So what we are doing now is that we are actually trying to get these big rooms where you have a lot of computers, and they're doing the computing there.
Data centers.
Yeah, data centers. Yes,
Data centers,
and they are creating a lot of excessive heat. In Pakistan and in the warmer climates, you have to pay for somebody to cool it down.
Yeah.
Whereas here in Finland, we are actually cooling it down and then selling the heat to heat the central heating to heat the homes in Helsinki.
Yeah.
So this will be beneficial because then from excessive heat, you can see that this is a source of income, source of revenue for the data hub, and we can utilize it. So we have a lot of, we are welcoming with open arms investments from Pakistan, also investing in Pakistan, and economic, this kind of collaboration could be at a very much higher level than it was what it has been now. And I'm trying to make our president, to fit some time in his schedule to go to Pakistan and see about this, take with him this high-level business delegation, because sometimes you need the high-level politicians to open up the doors. Then you will have a lot of opportunities. But somebody needs to open the door. Then the business delegation can do their job. The government cannot do so much about this because we have other people who are good at that.
Yeah.
But we can open the doors.
Yeah, you're the chairman of board for Helen.
Yes, I
energy
am.
company, yeah. And
that's why I talk up the data hubs, because this is really a good business.
Yeah, and I think that Pakistan has a very challenging situation in terms of energy, and renewable energy, where Finland is so advanced in, and just like you said, the example of data centers, that you're reusing the heat from that to point it towards the.
So the heat
domestic.
is not the waste that you need to get rid of. It's actually an asset that you are able to monetize.
So I think there can be huge cooperation between Finland and Pakistan in terms of this energy sector, because
absolutely,
like the optimization of energy system and frameworks you have here, those because Pakistan can really benefit from those. Similarly, the circular energy economy, you have systems already incorporated and practiced. Those could be, I'm not an expert in the area, but I believe that those are really big areas that can help both countries.
Waste management. Waste is a huge problem, as in Kashmir. So getting efficient waste management is something that you could see the waste not just as waste, but as precious raw material for the circular economy. So there's so many things that you can circulate, and then when you can burn the rest in an efficient process that doesn't cause a lot of pollution, but creates electricity. These are the types that we are quite good at Finland in Finland doing. So I see a lot of potential there. Somebody just needs to open the door, and somebody needs to, because also one thing, that this is a cultural thing. Finland doesn't have any colonial history. I can easily understand that coming from Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, people who have been colonized, they will not look so favorably upon the former colonizers. There's this kind of level of animosity. Whereas we were never the colonizers. Actually, we were colonized by Russia. We were an autonomous part of the Russian Empire from 1809 up until 1917. So we are used to looking at people in the same level. So there is not, you have a Finnish person going to whatever part of the world, there is no level of feeling somehow superior or no, we are just normal human beings looking eye to eye on the same level. And this comes naturally from our culture. And I think this is very much appreciated in the Middle East, in the Indian subcontinent, I mean all around the world.
Absolutely.
This is very important. Yeah.
It's very one of the, I think the the blessings of Finland. I would say the reason why many people like myself, I'm a specialist IT consultant. I could get a lot more moving to the US or to another Western country, but what keeps so many IT professionals like me or other professionals like me from moving away from Finland is the humanity in the society. Like when I work in a work environment, people are seen as people, not as managers or engineers or CEOs. But it's so flat.
Like I said, the distance of power is traditionally very small.
And that's one of the strengths, one of the biggest strengths in the Finnish culture, in work life and a society that makes it very difficult for people to move away from Finland. Once you've lived here and worked here for over 5 years, it's very difficult and challenging to go. I mean, I moved to Canada briefly, and I lived in the UK as well, but I came back because Finland feels like home.
That's a wonderful thing to hear. This is something that we must preserve in our society. We must not let it go.
Exactly.
What obstacle do you see? Regulation, visas, recognition, trade barriers, perhaps a perception or diplomatic constraints?
Well, I mean, the biggest barrier that I see is the negative image that people generally have of Pakistan here in Finland, which is not based on reality. It's based on the biased news. Or the news are not biased. Of course, there's terrorism, there's earthquakes, there's natural disasters, but it's it's one-sided. This is the only time Pakistan is in the news when something, somebody commits a political killing or something bad happens, and not the good. And this is something that we should diversify. I cannot tell the media on what to write. It's actually very much frowned upon if a politician says to the media that you need to write about this and this topic in this and this way. No, the editorial process needs to lie within the media themselves. But I'm just asking the media that does it always have to be the negative things? Can you not sometimes report the positive things and say that, it's not black and white. It never is. But then we also, because, I mean, to be really frank and honest with you, I found it shameful that my country withdrew the embassy after Benazir Bhutto got elected the second time. The ambassador told me personally that he felt ashamed to go and show his credentials when he has in his basket that Pakistan is dealt with in the same way as Bhutan, Sri Lanka, and the Maldives, which are great countries, like I said, in themselves. But how much they weigh in terms of economic possibilities, purely just the population. You look at it. So this was a disgrace. And I think to some extent the Pakistanis felt that it's like, okay, so you don't want to do business with us because you're clearly disregarded. We have an embassy in New Delhi, and then we didn't have one in Islamabad. So that was there was a discrepancy. So maybe this was one thing, but I think we can easily overcome it, because it's not. I mean, people understand also in Pakistan. The clever people, they understand how it is. But we would need to open the doors now from a very high level. So preferably, our president, would make an official visit to Pakistan. That would be sort of opening the gates for the business, because we are not. Of course, we should lure in, like I said, more work-based immigration from Pakistan, from India and Bangladesh as well, but from Pakistan. And we are not good at sort of inviting the professionals over. Even at some point, I got this feeling that it can be quite challenging for the professionals to get the working visa in Finland.
Mm-hmm.
And this we should make much more easy, much more sort of that you don't have to wait for, like the Indian ambassador said, 4 weeks in a row just to get into the preliminary discussion, interview. No, we should make it more easy to come. But this will change, and the business, we cannot start doing business for the businesses, because the government is not good at that. The businesses are good at doing business, but we have to open the doors.
Yeah.
That I would say the number one thing would be now to have a high level state visit to Pakistan and open the doors.
I'd like to make 2
Yeah.
points here. Like you mentioned very correctly, that the entry, which is the most important point, because like as students, when they want to get higher education, they're looking at their options. They have Finland, UK, US, Sweden, Denmark,
Yeah.
Germany, all of those, and getting a Finnish visa. I mean, when I came here, that was a very different story. But now it's become so more difficult for students,
Yeah.
and students are the people that you want, the kind of immigrants that you want are the students, because
Absolutely.
they invest, and when somebody comes as a student, they integrate much better, because they
are integrating in the universities.
Exactly, because they make friends.
Yes.
Then they learn, they do all these, the student cultural things, and they understand the culture, and they grow with their, classmates. They have a network, and these people who come as students are very valuable for Finland.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that for Pakistani students, it seems equally perhaps for the Indians as well, is that it's difficult to get the visa processes so slow and cumbersome.
Yeah.
And we have been speaking with the ambassador as well. I mean, he was here in the last few months back, and he's trying from his end, but of course the visa process is done by the Finnish authorities.
Yeah.
And that is where you, Atte, come in. I mean, you as a spokesperson who understands Pakistan and has clearly has a background there. You can ask the relevant authorities, that making this visa process easier for Pakistani students would really help, because if they lose they do not apply for Finland only. They apply to Germany, Sweden, and I'm a member of all of these different student associations, and they're always talking that, okay, I got the visa for Germany. Should I wait for the Finnish visa?
That's exactly.
Or is Sweden better than Finland? And I would like to recommend Finland, but how do you recommend? Because when there is no guarantee what happens with it, and you lose. Like the Indian ambassador told you, that the top students, they are the first to go.
Yeah.
And if Finland loses those, then because of the slow processes, only the students who do not have any other options left would then opt for Finland.
That's how it is. And he was absolutely right when he said, "Why do you shoot yourself in the knee?"
Exactly.
Because that's what we are doing. We don't have. Think about Bangladesh. We don't have any kind of representation in Dhaka.
Mm-hmm.
So if the Bangladeshi, we have a sizable Bangladeshi community as well here in Finland. So if they want to come to Finland for work or study, they need to apply via the internet, of course, but then they need to go to New Delhi, to the embassy for the interview, which is crazy. Why not have some official from the foreign ministry? We don't have to open an embassy in Dhaka. We could just have one person sitting in a hotel room making the interviews.
Yes.
Maybe one week per month could be enough, just to make it more easy, and then there's also the cultural thing. I was sitting in the urban environment planning board in the Helsinki city council, which is responsibility for city planning and construction and how to lay out the city, plan for the future. So I made this proposition and I said, we have a lot of people from the subcontinent. So why don't we build a cricket ground for them?
Mm-hmm.
And the guys were like, are you crazy? Why do we need a cricket ground? Nobody plays cricket here in Finland. Mm-hmm. And I said, we don't. But the people coming from Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, they are very, very interested in cricket. So why not build a ground for them so they could play? And it would be for us to show that, we appreciate your culture. We appreciate you being here. Thank you for coming to Finland. Here is a small token of gratitude that you have this ground. So what they did was the city officials, they contacted the Finnish Cricket Union. Mm-hmm. And they asked, could you please give us the requirements of a cricket stadium? So the union thought, okay, it has to be something that you can play international test matches. So they gave out this, it's a huge, the stadium. And the officials came to me and said, Atte, we cannot, there is no room for a cricket ground in Helsinki. And I said, no, I'm not talking about a big stadium. I'm talking about the game where you take a tennis ball and you wrap some adhesive tape around it and you just sort of like play like with your friends and stuff. It doesn't have to be real hardcore cricket. Oh, okay. And now we have, fortunately, we have a lot of places where you can play cricket. Mm. And you can also interact with people from the subcontinent and the Finnish people who see, they are playing something let's go and see what it's all about. And then they can take the bat. And so it would be a nice way to sort of show gratitude and help with the interaction.
Exactly. And I would like to introduce you someday, perhaps in our events. One of the Pakistani friends has actually established this play box, it's called. Yeah. So he's made a sports arena where they have these specifically for cricket. Yeah. And it's very successful. Their interest level there is because, like you said, what drives sports, is healthy and brings people together. Yeah. It's links cultures and people get to experience different things. And that's how they're positioning it. It's like, they have corporate events in the cricket fields and they come and experience what they would see as an exotic sport. And it is fun activity.
It's fun and it's exotic. Yeah. And actually when I was playing with the locals in Sialkot, when I was stationed there in the field station in Sialkot, and of course, the UN people, we always played against the local kids. So when the first time I was bowling in my life, I was able to get 2 wickets, the first over.
Nice.
First over. And this was purely the luck of the Irish because I don't know how to play cricket, but the ground was a little bit uneven. So the ball was bouncing in all directions. Unfortunately, it was bouncing so that and the guys were like, sir, have you been playing before? And I said, no, that's the reason I was so good. The next over, it was not so good anymore. But
it's quite technical.
It's very technical. Yeah, it's because we are not used to throwing with that the hand is straight, so it's very unnatural for to
the throw is true. The other point I wanted to pick up on, because I'm a bit short for time, is that you mentioned and you rightly did mention that the biggest challenge is perception. How people in Finland see Pakistan, and the perception is built by the media companies. Mm-hmm. So I think one possibility is that if you could help or you could promote or suggest to the people that we open up like cooperation between media. So there could be more programs from Pakistan. For example, in one of the best ways is that to play programs from Pakistan that show, the normal life of a Pakistani person. Yeah. Not necessarily the crazy guy in some cave who's like 1 in 10 million is there, but like a normal, regular person. And you get to see the daily life of people, how they live and how normal and natural it is. So perhaps one of the ways could be that if like Ule or such production houses would open up and perhaps bring in, we can connect with some of the media houses in Pakistan. I have some friends who, and it doesn't have to be about friends. It's about different media houses who can bring in different programs, and we can that could be dubbed and seen for the people to see. This is like a very normal life, and people how they would see the real Pakistani life then. So one of the possibilities.
This is not. I've talked about this, and I've tried to make them sort of think about that, widely, especially as a public service broadcasting provider, it would be beneficial, I think, for the Finnish people to see these kind of programs, but they are not really very interested, because it's not something that is selling. It's not something that people are. Whenever you have a news and headline, and it says that this is take a look at the life of an ordinary person in Islamabad or Karachi or Lahore or whatever. No, nobody's viewing it. But whenever you say, there's this terrorist living in the cage, this is the place Abbottabad where they killed Osama bin Laden, and everybody is interested. Yeah, I want to see that. It's very sad. I mean, because then the image is, like I said, it's very one-sided, and it's not accurate.
But something definitely needs to be done. I mean,
I agree.
Yeah, if somehow the regular, highlights from, not necessarily if they're not interested in. Of course, it's always about business and profits for media houses, but something perhaps can be looked into and see, like some updates of regular news from good news, normal news from Pakistan can be brought into Finland, and so people can see, okay, normal stuff happens there. Yeah,
I hope so, and I hope that we can maybe together we can try to, and with the help of the whole Pakistani community, that we could. Maybe demand. I mean, not me. I cannot make any demands for like I said, because it would be considered very unorthodox and very impolite in a political way. I cannot affect the editorial decisions, but maybe if the Pakistani community, because the problem I think is that nobody knows how many Pakistani people there are people of Pakistani origin, how many there are in Finland, because we don't see them. It's easy to see. The types, the cultural types who are not integrating well, because they are loitering around in the central railway station in Itäkeskus. But the Pakistanis, everybody's working or in school, so you don't see them.
Yeah, we can help you with that data.
Yeah. So demand a little bit and say, hey, why not create some programs for us as well?
I'm going to tell you a little about the Pakistani community in Finland. The Pakistani community in Finland is very diverse and made up of very hardworking, dedicated people. The Pakistani-born residents of Finland have grown from 300 in 1995 to approximately over 7,000 in 2025.
Yeah. Over 7,000 approximately. Yeah.
An overwhelming majority of these residents are highly educated individuals working as scientists, engineers, researchers, academicians, and doctors, entrepreneurs, traders, and hardworking individuals who contribute positively towards the Finnish society and economy. There are about 2,500 professionals working in various fields in Finland, from medicine, IT, and various forms of entrepreneurship. The Pakistani students community in Finland is roughly 1,400 strong. Over half of these are expected to stay long-term in Finland and contribute in their fields. As you can see, the makeup of the Pakistani community in Finland is dynamic, hardworking, highly educated, and active professionals. The community is capable and eager to support you in your work in the Pakistani-Finland Friendship Group to improve collaboration and cooperation between our birth home and adopted home. Can you tell what the Pakistani community here can do to support your work?
What you can do to support the work?
Yeah,
it's like I said. It's. I don't consider people to be that. When I see Pakistani people, for example, I don't consider them to be first and foremost Pakistani people. I see them as professionals. If you're a doctor, you're a doctor.
Yeah.
And you have a background, whether it be in Turku, like I was born and raised in Turku, or I was born in Salo but raised in Turku. So I have a history. We all have this kind of. Somebody once said that that a human being is like a book, that the pages are being written as we live our life and proceed. When this person comes to another country, it's not like the previous pages are being erased from the book. This person carries with him or her his or her past, with what has happened, what's the values, how they see life, and their culture. So of course this is incorporated, and of course it's. I mean, there are so many things that combine Pakistani communities, but I tend to view people as individuals, as business people, doctors, lawyers, whatever, students, political persons. So if somebody wants to be politically active, and what I say makes sense, please join Kokoomus Party.
Yeah.
Or if they are more into Social Democrats or the Greens, which have good ideas, they too. It's not like they are, I don't want to demonize them. I just disagree with them on some issues, but on very many issues I also agree with these parties. So you join those parties. And then maybe also be a little bit more vocal maybe in the social media, maybe in write something in the newspapers, in this you can submit articles or short texts and say, we are here, we like it here, and it's not like, or maybe there's some problems. So you don't have to make yourself small when you come to Finland. You can be all that you can be, and really sort of like be proud about your history, and be proud about, if you want to integrate into Finland and become Finnish, get a citizenship, you can be proud Finns as well. True. As I am. So maybe this kind of cooperation that I'm mostly looking forward to. It's like, what can we do to benefit everybody? Because mostly it's a win-win situation. The public image of Pakistan, you don't have to be the ambassadors of Pakistan everywhere you go. Of course not. It's a big burden. You just be yourselves, individuals, wonderful people that you are. Bring your wonderful culture and the hospitality and the good things, the community, sense of belonging, that we are a little bit failing to preserve here in Finland. There is a lot of loneliness. Senior citizens can feel lonely when they are not being integral part of their children's lives, their grandchildren's lives. This can make a sense of what is the purpose of continuing to live when there's nothing really happening. This kind of depressions that what you have. So there's also a lot that the Finnish society could learn from the Pakistani way of life, from the subcontinent way of life. But you don't have to be the advocates. You can just be yourselves, enjoy life, work, live, love, laugh. It's like a little bit, there's a level of banality in saying these things, but this is actually something that I think it's Finland is the happiest nation in the world. And we are also the only nation who we are contesting. I said, no, this must not be the case. This cannot be the case. Because who has been asked, what has been said, there's so much depression, the winter when it's dark and cold and horrible. We cannot be the happiest nation. But we have a very functioning society. We have a very good society for people, especially when you have kids at this time.
True.
So many Finnish people, also the new Finnish people, the immigrants, when they are young professionals without kids, they will go abroad, do something. When they have the kids, they see that, the welfare state that we have in Finland, it's not too bad at all. It's quite good to raise your kids in. So maybe I don't know. You don't really have to do anything. Just be yourselves and benefit your life, your family, your community, and Finland. I think that's the main issue. Then if you want to be more active and more vocal in the society, this is very much appreciated. Because it's when I say that, hey, Wiley, why don't you do a program on Pakistan? And they say, no. But when you have the Pakistani community saying, we would like to see some programs aimed at us. We have, for example, the news in Russian, news in English and news in Russian language, which is some of the true Finns said, no, we don't like the Russians. We must not have news in Russian. I said, no, we actually need to have news in Russian because we don't want to have the Russian population, the people from Russian background, to only view the Russian TV stations. We want them to be incorporated in the YLE in the Western way. So this could also, you could say that, why don't somebody make a documentary on the Pakistani community living in Finland, that we have 7,000 people. Nobody knows there's so many because we don't see you.
These professionals are around 2,500 people. We can very easily just sift through the data and get that very quickly. And I'm sure from the 7,000 or so, if you look at the age distribution, there would be like the working age and the children and the not working age. Remove that, then the 2,400 or so professionals. This is a very big segment of the
That's
community,
true.
which is really working in very professional and technical areas. So definitely a community that loves Finland and wants to contribute and is contributing positively since last 30, 40 years in Finland. And we would like to engage more and become, more integrated as Finnish citizens.
The thing that fuels the xenophobia is, of course, you have racist people. There's not a lot of racist people, I would argue, in Finland, who are like hardcore, really racist and think that people whose skin color is not as white as mine, they are somehow inferior people. Not a lot of them. But there is this kind of level of xenophobia that people are, because if you see immigration, especially humanitarian immigration, it's a story of loss. Because the people who are immigrating, they lose their homes, their familiar surroundings, their friends, their family, and they come to a foreign country. So they have experienced a sense of loss. But also the receiving community, the society, might have this kind of sense of loss because they are afraid that their sense of cohesion and this kind of unified culture, that it will be lost. So you have to address these senses of loss in order to make this integration possible. Normally, when you have integration, this has been studied in several European countries. Normally the first phase is the sort of this kind of avoidance, that the people who came actually made the journey, the first generation immigrants, they are avoiding the local culture because they want to preserve what is dear to them, their own culture and their background, because the book of their life has been written, so many pages have already been written, so they want to preserve. Then the next phase is normally conflict, because at some point you as a community, they need to start interacting with the larger society, with the surrounding society, and this very often happens in the second generation when the kids who never actually made the journey, they are coming into they are going to school and they are having business with the local residents, and then it can happen that some people say, you are too Finnish. The Pakistani community could say, this is not happening in Pakistani community to a large scale, but some communities might say that you are too, for example, Somalis, you are too Finnish. You have lost your Somali heritage. And the Finns are saying, you are not enough Finnish, you're too Somali. And the young kids are like, well, who am I? Where are my roots? Am I a Finnish person, a Somali person? What's happening to me? So there is this kind of division. And conflict is not a problem unless it becomes violent. But the conflict phase is now paving way for the integration, where you can integrate in a way like the Tatars have, for example, that you can preserve your own culture, your own language, but you are 100% Finnish, 100% Muslim, like the Tatars are. So there is nothing wrong with being a Muslim. There is nothing that prevents you from being a Muslim in Finnish society. Quite the opposite. I spoke with an Egyptian friend of mine who said that when he's in Cairo, he sees a lot of Muslims, but very little Islam. When he's in Helsinki, he sees very few Muslims, but a lot of Islam.
That is so true.
I think Finland was number 23, the most Islamic country according to the Quran and the Sunnah. When you look at the principles over there, and when you look at the society, that you have equality, and there's so many good things about the Quran. The Prophet, for example, when he said that if a man has a full belly and his neighbor goes hungry, this man will not be entered in Jannah, because how can you have a full belly when your neighbor is hungry? This sense of community and sense of caring for like Jesus Christ said the same thing, that you have to love your neighbor as you love yourself.
Exactly.
The very universal value. So there's nothing preventing the integration, but there is also no reason for you to forget about your Pakistani, the good things in your Pakistani culture. It's nice for you to preserve them, the food and whatever. This is enriching our society. So this is. So I would say that don't worry in being more vocal in the society. Don't care too much about being active in politics. You don't have to diminutize yourself. You can be open and embrace, and you will be embraced. Some people will still be xenophobic. This happens all around the world, but the majority will love it.
That is so good to hear. That is so good to hear.
Yeah.
we will respect your time, and I mean we'd love to talk more to
Yeah.
you.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Thanks for your time.
Perhaps
you.
we can have another session with you another time.
We could do that,
Yeah,
definitely.
we can
Yeah.
build
next.
up on this, but I think Sabah, this is we've loved our conversation. We've
Me
loved
too.
talking to you.
Feelings completely mutual.
Yeah.
Mutual.
Yeah, and we hope to get more
Thank you
time
so
with you.
much
Yeah,
for your time.
Thank you.
yeah. So on behalf of the Pakistani community and PinFin, we're thanking you for the work that you're doing for Pakistan in terms of supporting and
Thank you.
the friendship group, and we're looking forward to engaging with you as well on that. And let's move forward together, and we hope to see you more often
Absolutely.
again.
Like
Yeah.
I said, Pakistan has a very special spot in my heart because I had such wonderful time when I was there, and I enjoyed myself so much with the people and the hospitality and the friendship and everything that was there, the warmth. So this is the reason I'm one of the big reasons I'm chairman of the parliamentary friendship group, that Pakistan has a special place in my heart.
That's so nice to hear. Great. Thank you so much, Atte.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Atte.